to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then intense to this headed slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Roll dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, moments reflected. Off the mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and radiant rain, rekindling the flame. Close as she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose.
Boom. Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and sorry we missed yesterday. It was my birthday, and I may or may not have been struggling just a little bit because we had dinner at Red Prime Friday night with my guy, Mark Long, and Melissa's Maya Long, and Leslie Lewis, and Mark's brother. And then we went to the game, and we hung out and drank some, and Mark and Randy Wright, YNB, was like, the commander was like, oh, yeah, don't worry about doing the show. It's preseason. Nobody really cares. I was like, okay, so we drank, plus it's your birthday. Then we went to Cat's Tavern, and it just went downhill from there. Well, it actually went downhill starting drinking vodka at Red Prime, and then it just went downhill, and our lovely bartender, Kira, at our club level bar at Thunder was fantastic as always. And then, of course, Mark, being the bad influence that he is, started me doing tequila shots. And so, yeah, it went bad. And then, of course, we ran into Cassidy Moore and her friend, and it was bad. It was bad. That's why all my friends' wives and girlfriends go, you need a girl because you need to keep her. I'm like, I'm having fun. I mean, I said if I'm dating someone, I'm with someone, she's going to let me have fun. Or if she's not going to let me have fun, then she's not going to be in my life. That's just the way it is. I mean, I am what I am. I do what I do, and you've got to accept me for the good and the bad. But the one thing I don't do is cheat. So that being said, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day yourself. Thank everyone for all my birthday wishes yesterday on my birthday on Facebook, and I just appreciate everybody for that. It was a great time, had a blast. My boy Mike Deeb and I went to dinner at Flips last night. We were supposed to go to the Hutch, but we ended up we ran into some people we knew at Flips, and plus they had lobster ravioli, and they don't always have lobster ravioli. I'm like, this is not on the menu anymore. And they go, no, we only have it on Tuesdays. So we ended up staying there and had lobster ravioli, which was fantastic, along with some clam chowder that was delicious. But I was just too full to eat the clam chowder and the Caesar salad and the lobster ravioli. So I just had the clam chowder and that. But anyway, it was fantastic. Enjoyed myself 100% full. And of course, like I've said, October is the best month. A, because it's my birthday. B, because NBA season starts. D, because football season is really, one quarter through, so it's really starting to get into the meat of the schedule. 4, college football is the same way. It's starting to get there. 5, college basketball is getting ready to start at the end of the month. Then you've got WNBA finals, and you have Major League Baseball finals, and hockey starts. So October is the best month of the year. I'm just saying that it is, because it is. I'm sorry. And if you all aren't born in October, that's your fault, not mine. Not my fault. Talk to your parents. They're the ones that didn't do it. So that being said, in NBA scores, the Thunder, of course, played. I guess we didn't talk about the Thunder, so let's just start off talking about the Thunder because we missed them. And so anyway, the Thunder won their first preseason game against the Spurs, and we got to see Victor Wembanyama versus Chet, and yeah, it wasn't close. Wembanyama Wemby is a beast. He's a flat-out beast. And the thing that I noticed the difference between Chet and Wemby is Wemby is way more athletic than Chet because he was guarding J-Dub out on the wing. J-Dub made a move, shifted him, got to the basket, went up, and Wemby recovered and blocked the shot. And I don't think Chet can do that. So, and he's coming off the screens, catch and shoot off the screen, moving, and I'm like, damn, is he 7 foot or is he 6'3"? I mean, what's the deal? I mean, because like I said, I look at little things to me that pass my eye test. And, his handles one-on-one, he can go. And what he's learned is from that first game that I watched him in Summer League where he turned the ball over trying to take extra dribbles in the paint and all that. He doesn't do that. Now he's boom, boom, boom to the basket, up, boom, boom, boom to the basket, pull up, boom, or pull up, boom, 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 slide over three, come off the screen, knock down the three. And what people don't realize is he's shooting the three while sliding. He's up in the air, and he's going to his left. Now, for you all who don't really shoot, if you're going to the left, you have to shoot the ball to the right. Now, your goal looks like it's here, but you have to shoot it to the right. And because it doesn't look like you should because you're lined up, but you're actually fading. So it's like when you're shooting a gun. You can't shoot at the target where it is. You got to shoot at the target where it will be. And that's kind of what you have to do when you're floating to your left or floating to your right. You have to shoot the ball to the side. But anyway, so I noticed him doing that, and I'm like, wow, that is high-level stuff. Plus, he had a spin move in the paint with a scoop up and under on the other left-hand side using his left. And Chet on the other side of that. And then Chet, in a rebound, he went right over the top of Chet and got a putback. And Chet is he's a spot-up shooter. He's going to be able to, he can't really defend on the wing, but he can block shots in the middle. He's just, when you look at the difference between the two, there's a huge difference between the two. And, but anyway, San Antonio got lucky. And once again, they've tanked 3 times. They got David Robinson. They got Tim Duncan, and they got Wemby. The Thunder have tried to tank, and we just not very good at it. That's just the way that is. Anyway, the Thunder hung on to win by 1, and we barely won because at the end of the game you had Waters, Jang, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, Keontae Johnson, and Sarr on the floor at the end. And we were sitting there watching going, are we going to hold on to win this game? And we barely did. And what that tells me is Lindy can't play. That tells me that Jang is still a long way off, even though he's trying to get there. Robinson-Earl is no. And Sarr is no. And Keontae was just there. And he was just there hanging out like a rookie, is what I saw. So, 3 of those guys are on your two-way players, which is Sarr, Lindy Waters, and Keontae. And then you've got Jang, who's going to play, and then Robinson-Earl is just there. And I like Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. I really, really did until he got hurt last year. And I just don't think he can make it. And he's just not one of the top 15 should be on the roster. I just don't see it. But anyway, 3-point percentage, the Spurs were 14 for 37. The Thunder were 13 for 38. 46% from the field for the Spurs, 41 for the Thunder, 48 rebounds to the Thunder, 52 points in the paint, points in the paint, my favorite stat. 54 for the Spurs, 52 for the Thunder, 14 to 13 turnovers, and we've got to turn teams over more. And then at the same time, I do like the fact that, like I've said the last 2 years, the Thunder, if they can keep it down to 12, 13, 11 to 13 turnovers a game, we're going to win a lot of games. If we're at 17 or 18 against good teams, you're not going to beat people. It's just what it is. You cannot turn the ball over. You cannot give Golden State. You cannot give the Lakers. You cannot give the Celtics. You cannot give the Bucks. You cannot give the Nuggets. You cannot give the Kings. You can't give them 4 or 5 extra possessions. You're not going to beat teams. You can't do it to them. Bench scoring, Spurs outscored a 65-63. So my takeaway from the first game was very simple. I think the Thunder did what they needed to do to win. No doubt. I liked what I saw there. SGA, of course, didn't play. My concerns were Josh seemed to be passive in passive mode, not really scoring. And like I said in the preseason show, if Josh is passive, Thunder aren't going to go very far. It's just, and if Chet is averaging more than Josh, and he's our third lead scorer, second lead scorer, Thunder are not going to win. They're just not. Josh and J Dub have to be aggressive. They have to score. Now I can see, part of my keys to the game were getting Chet involved because of the Oklahoma City fans and, getting all the people hyped up about him. And they certainly did a great job of that. But that being said, you see his weaknesses glaring if you're watching. Now, of course, these people, most Oklahoma City fans, are just happy that we got him and blah, blah, blah. But it's pretty obvious to those of us that are basketball players, and we talked to some players about this, and we were all like, oh, man, he's just going to be a good player. He's not going to be transcendent at this point. Now, can he grow and get better? Yes, this is just game one of his career in the NBA. Because remember last year, he got hurt playing in a pro-am, doing something that I still don't know what the hell he was doing. I really don't know what he was thinking and what he was trying to do. I just don't know. I really don't know what he was doing. It was crazy. Anyway, in the rest of the NBA, the Nets and the Lakers, and I watched a lot of this game. Anthony Davis is just a beast. He just is. LeBron, I didn't see him out there. Austin Reeves is just, he's getting better, no doubt. But if they're depending on him, they're in trouble because he can't defend. I like him, but he can't defend. And when you got the West and the top tier of the West, which is who? The Nuggets, the Kings, Golden State, and Phoenix. Those are your top tier teams that you've got to defend against. Not to mention the Clippers. Not to mention the Thunder. And we give them all they want. I mean, we do, because we know that Austin can't guard. He can't guard Josh. He damn sure can't guard SGA, and he sure as hell can't guard J-Dub. So whenever he's out there, the Thunder just exploit him, which they should, because that's what I would do. I would exploit the weakest player on the possible other team. But the Lakers did hold on. The Nets look pretty good. Overall, they're just young, kind of like the Thunder, but not as many talented players, I don't believe. The Hornets and the Heat end up winning the game. Tyler Hero, I guess all that trade stuff has got him motivated because he was really, really playing well. Bam looked good, but I'm just not sold that much on the Heat. I just don't know what all they're going to be able to accomplish. I just really, really don't. The Cavs and the Hawks, it's preseason. The Hawks got a long way to go. I think the Cavs have a good starting rotation, but after that, and I think the Hawks are still trying to figure out, their rotation and what they're going to do. Pelicans and the Magic took care of business. And remember, I picked the Magic as one of my teams to slide in there. So I think the Magic have got some talent. They're playing, because remember, preseason is about your bench. Who you got coming off the bench? Who's going to score? Your preseason is really your 6 through 11, 6 through 13. That's what preseason is about. What do you really have to offer there? And so the Magic is looking a lot better than the Pelicans, but, we're going to talk about something else with this game later in our NBA stuff and NBA news. Pacers and the Rockets, I'm going to give the Rockets more love because they are a team that can surprise some people, and I think they will because, one, of their coach, Ime Udoka, and the fact they've got Fred VanVleet now at their point guard. So they've got all these young athletic guys who are all 6'7", 6'8", athletic and run up and down the floor, block shots, do whatever, but they have a point guard who can settle them down. And then you got Dylan Brooks, which, whatever. But you've got a bunch of guys who are athletic who can run the floor, and now you've got a coach who is a big defense guy who they will play. You got guys who can play defense, and then you've got a point guard who can run the floor, who can run the show. So I think the Rockets are going to definitely be a surprise this year in the West. The Grizzlies and the Bucks. Bucks not showing me a whole lot. Damian I saw him putting up shots the other day. I mean, They're going to grind. He'll probably play somewhere and play better towards the middle, the end of the deal of the preseason. But it's going to take him and Giannis, I believe, 25 or 30 games to kind of figure out, because they're both very good, very smart players. So it's going to take them 25 to 30 games to pretty much figure out, okay, who and what, how do I get my shots? Where do I lead in? What's going to happen with this situation? They're going to have to see different situations to figure out how to make plays. Kind of like when the Thunder, when Josh and they were double teaming SGA, getting the ball out of his hands, and Josh was in passive mode. Well, we still turned the ball over quite a bit because Josh was looking to pass, so guys knew he wasn't going to be aggressive and score, and he was looking to fake and throw, and so they were jumping in the passing lanes. And then at the end of the year, when Josh was aggressive and going to the basket and looking to score first, then teams were like, oh, what are we going to do now? And then he could pass, which the Thunder, of course, were much more effective in the paint once Josh got aggressive. So I'm hoping that we can keep that same mentality. Nuggets and the Suns still trying to figure out their 6 through whatever is very average. The Nuggets still are a much better team, I think, overall. But when it comes down to it, the question is KD going to be able to make shots that he missed last year in the playoffs that he normally does not miss? And the question is he going to be able to knock those shots down this year? and that's going to be the key. Jazz and Clippers. The Clippers just look good. I mean, they've got a pretty good team, but the question is, can Paul George and Kawhi stay healthy? That is the $1 million question for them. We don't know what the answer to that question is, but that is ultimately the $1 million question. What is going to happen there? We don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know if those guys are going to be able to stay healthy. We just don't. Okay? We really don't. So, that being said, now in NBA news, Lakers coach Darvin Ham wants AD to shoot 6 threes per game. I'm like, what? AD is one of the worst three-point shooting big men in the league. And last year in the playoffs, he averaged 1 3 a game. And you want him to get up to 6. Why would you want him to do that now, I don't mind 3, okay? 3 threes a game, that's fine. But he's dominant in the post. He's dominant on the mid-range and end. There's no answer for him because he's got guard handles ability to handle the ball. So he's got guard skills with the ball. And he's long, and he's athletic, and he can jump. And you want him to shoot threes. Why not get him to take a guy one-on-one in the paint? He can use his left hand, right hand. He can fade away. He's got all the moves. He can do anything he wants. And you want him to shoot threes, which is going to me, limit what he's really able to do. And it's going to cost you possessions. And when you're going, like I said earlier, when you're going against the Clippers, or you're going against Golden State, or you're going against the Nuggets, or you're going against the Thunder, or you're going against the Kings, or you're going against the Suns, you can't give away possessions. You can't do it. You cannot give these guys extra possessions. And if you do that, you will be in trouble. So I'm hoping that Darvin doesn't do that, because if he does, the Lakers are going to be in all kinds of trouble. They just are. They're going to be in a world of hurt simply because they are not going to be able to give away points. Because if you give away possessions, you're in trouble. It just is what it is. Now, Wembanyama is as good as advertised, smooth, athletic. He's got a really nice jumper, and like I said, he did shots. And people, unless you're a shooter, you have no idea how difficult it was for him to knock down a couple shots that he knocked down. Now, the question is how many games he's going to play. Oh, also, with the Lakers, AD says he wants to play 82 games. Bro, you ain't playing 82 games. I'd put you at around 70. But you got to rest him, because you cannot take a chance on him unless he's decided to work out, which he said he hadn't changed his schedule up until last year. It's, he takes months off. He works his way back in shape. Dude, you got to get in the gym. You're making $62 million on there next time around. Pay somebody $1 million and stay in shape. Hire your nutritionist, a cook, whatever you want to call him, a chef, and get a trainer that's going to bust your butt and do what you need to do to stay in shape. That's all it is. Instead of sitting around smoking weed or doing whatever you're doing or playing video games or whatever it is, which, I do that too, so I can't really say anything about it. But I'm just saying do something else and get yourself in shape and be more productive. But Wembanyama, good as advertised. And if you're a shooter, you understand how hard it was, some of the shots that he made and some of the shots he did. And he's just an athletic guy. He's still on the wing. He's still 7 foot. But the difference is with his wingspan and his athleticism, he can recover, which, like I said, J-Dub put a move on him. And J-Dub went up for the layup with his left hand instead of the dunk. Now, next time that happens, I promise you, J-Dub will dunk the basketball instead of trying to lay it up. You can't give that guy, once you beat him, you got to close the door on him. You can't give him a chance to recover, which is what J-Dub did, and he got it back. But he's a pretty good player. That's all I can say. And why are the Pelicans playing Zion in the preseason? That's another. I'm like, I don't understand that, why they're doing that. He missed 45 games in 2019. He missed 10 games in 2020. He missed basically the whole season. He missed the whole season in 2021, and in 2022 he missed 50 games. And you're playing. I mean, now granted, I think he needs to play a little bit, 10 minutes or something, just to kind of get a little sweat. But there's no way that I'm gonna play him as many minutes. And I don't know if I'd play him at all, to be honest with you. Now, if I did, like I said, it'd be about 10 minutes and just crossing my fingers that nothing happens to him. I don't understand why they're playing him. I just wouldn't. I would not give him the opportunity to get hurt. I just wouldn't. Because, like I said, you look at the numbers. What has he played in? He's played in 187 of 308 possible games. Think about that. That's not 60%. You can't take a chance on him getting hurt. You just can't. But at the same time, I know that you have to knock some of the rust off because he missed 50 games at the end of the last 50 games. So I know that he has to play now. I will say this about him: he looks like he's in shape, and he looks like he's ready to go. Now that I will say, because before he wasn't. And like I said, these young players, I don't understand their mentality. Dude, you're making all this money. Pay somebody. If you're making $43, $44 million, pay somebody to cook for you and pay somebody to work you out. Okay, I'm sorry, now you're only down to $45 million or $44 million or $43 million or whatever it is. You can still live comfortably off that amount of money. Pay somebody to cook for you. Pay somebody to work you out. Leave all your homies and all them. They need to go get a job. Do what LeBron did with his close boys. Look at how he gave you the blueprint of what to do with your friends. Put them in position to make money on their own. Put them in position that you can do things as a group. Put them in positions to make them somewhere they can manage, where they can do things, they can make their own money, and you make it as a group. Instead of depending on you and to be your yes man. Give them something else to do. Do other businesses so they can help them. But yet, give them experience. LeBron, each one of those guys went out and interned with companies for a year or two to learn about the ins and outs of the business. And now look at them, they're all thriving. Why? He didn't want them just hanging around him all the time. I got a wife, I got kids, man. Go do your own thing. Let's be boys, but let's do it together. But these young kids today, they don't get it. You're making all this money. And guys, at some point when you get married and you have a baby, you have to do what? You have to take care of your family. They need to go. They can't be hanging out with you. I don't want somebody hanging out in my house all the time with me and my wife and kids. I know my wife just want to come and, be naked and walk downstairs or whatever. She can't do that when you got people there. She can't wear something sexy, wear her panties and a shirt or whatever. She can't do any of that because you got your boys hanging around. I don't really get it. So, but yeah, I would not be playing Zion that much. I'd make him do some other stuff. That's just me. That's just how I look at it. I guess I have a different mentality when it comes to stuff like that. That's just me. Now in the Big 12, we got some games coming up this weekend. Here are the standings currently in the Big 12. You've got OU sitting atop at 5-0, or excuse me, at 3-0, 6-0 overall. West Virginia, surprisingly, they're at 2-0, 4-1, and I love what they have done and what they're doing there in West Virginia. Texas sitting there 2-1, 5-1 overall. Uh, Texas, I still think they are the best team, even though OU did beat them. Still think Texas has more talent now. What OU and Brett Venables has done with the people he's got coming in next year, they're going to be a handful. There's just no question about that. But I think yours is a better quarterback than Gabriel, and we shall see how it plays out. But I still think that OU and Texas will play each other in the Big 12 finals if Texas can get by Oklahoma State, which I don't know if they can do because they can't seem to beat us, no matter how much better than they are. It's just amazing. Kansas 2-1, 5-1 overall. Getting Jalen Daniels back is going to make a huge difference to them. OSU is going to have a handful if they're just one-dimensional as far as passing the ball. We should be okay. Iowa State sliding in there 2-1, 3-3. Texas Tech 2-1, 3-3. BYU 1-1, 4-1. Oklahoma State right there 1-1, 3-2 overall. Kansas State 1-1, 3-2. TCU, there's that log jam at 3-2, 3-2, and then TCU 1-2, 3-3, and they definitely have underachieved mightily this year, taking a fall back. But then, like I said, last year they hurt the Oklahoma State quarterback. They should have lost that game to us. They should have lost games to Baylor. There's games that they won, kind of like Minnesota. They won games that they should not have won, and beat teams that shouldn't have. They were a Cinderella story last year, and it seems like they have come back to earth. And I don't see all these TCU people wearing all their TCU stuff like I did last year. And I'm like, I didn't even know you went to. I know so many people. I was like, I didn't even know you went to TCU, and you weren't. Oh yeah, I'm a grad. I'm like, okay. So now you're winning football games, and now you're a TCU supporter. And guess what? None of those people wear their TCU stuff anymore. Isn't that funny? They're back to being TCU again, and they don't wear their stuff. I wear my Oklahoma State stuff nonstop. I went there. That's my school. It is what it is. I'm not going to stop wearing my gear. So Baylor 1-2, 2-4. Cincinnati 0-2, 2-3. Houston 0-2, 2-3. UCF 0-3, 3-3. And when you look at the teams that have joined the conference, Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, BYU. BYU is the only one that's pretty much thriving, even though they're 1-1 in the conference. The other ones are trying to adjust to the new conference and what's going on. And so, and then of course in the Big 12 schedule this weekend of games, tomorrow night, West Virginia and Houston, which is weird. It's a Thursday night. And I wish I would have known that. I'd probably try to stay in Houston, but take little G to the game because they live over there by it. So West Virginia and Houston +3, over under 49.5. That game will be at 6 p.m. tomorrow night on FS1, and I'm sure Drew Henthorne will have all the picks for football this weekend. On Saturday, you've got Iowa State at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is -5-point favorites, over under 44.5. And I don't know why they are. I think that should be the other way around. I don't know I must have misprinted that. That doesn't seem right to me for whatever reason. I don't really see how I could miss that. But anyway, BYU, TCU is -6-point favorites at home, over under 52.5. That game is at 2:30. So we'll see what happens in that. Kansas versus Oklahoma State at +3, over under 57.5 at 2:30. And of course, my boy Terry Miller will be honored into the Ring of Honor there in Stillwater. Long time coming for the great running back there at Oklahoma State. Arguably the third best running back in history of Oklahoma State besides Barry and Thurman. I mean, I might squeeze him a little bit ahead of Thermal if I guess if push came to shove, but I really can't complain about the order of those. So Anyway, if you can't make it, definitely got to go make it. Watch my boy. I'll be there supporting my guy TM at 2:30 on Saturday. Kansas State versus Tech -1.5 over under 56.5 8 p.m. game on ESPN2. The Kansas Oklahoma State game will be on Fox 2 FS2. So if you want to know, that's where everything is and where all the games are going to be. So if you get a chance, please get a chance to go and check them out and check out all the games. So that being said, I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Collaborative Logic. If you got any needs for some computers, software to be written, they are the team to watch to take care of your business on that. SRB, if you have any engineering, surveying, or planning, contact my guy Mark Long. Contact my guy Russell Williford if you out of a website design or anything like that at Collaborative Logic. Oak Grove Trucking, if you got any needs for dirt or rocks to be moving. By the way, thank you to Mark and thank you to Jose both for providing my headache and leftover problems from yesterday because of them buying me tequila shots on Monday night. So thank both of those guys, but good peeps. So anyway, if you got needs for any of those, talk to them. And of course, Greg and Max Nafee at NAFCO supporting me in everything I do. As always, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They are an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. And of course, they are the proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area, as well as Oklahoma. I don't know about Oklahoma so much because I'm going to be doing some stuff there with them. So, but anyway, you can see that you can go into any of their locations and you can go to any of their locations listed here. You can go to the main bank at 401 Elm, excuse me, or you can go to the bank off of the Parkway YMB East, which is what it's called. It's called YMB East. Oh man! And then of course we got some breaking news that I'm gonna share with you guys as soon as we get done with this. Or you can go to the YMB Mustang location. Hey, I can't my nose for whatever reason. The YMB location on 218 North Mustang Road. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm trying to get this in too as well. Or YMB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks, and I-40 just south of there. Actually, you can't miss as soon as if you're exiting off the east side. You can't help but do that. I mean, and then of course YMB Peoples, which is the bank. Which I have no problem. I mean, I love my bank. That's where I go and see my boy Eddie, or you can go in and see Dennis at 6201 Northwest 23rd, which is between Rockwell and MacArthur. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'll tell you what, you guys are going to love this. Kansas and my boy Bill, I got some breaking news for that. And you guys are going to love this. Thanks to the commander for sending me this, because giving me the updates. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna get ready to break this as soon as I do this last little bit here. You guys will be able to really appreciate the commander Randy Wright of YNB. It's interesting that he'll do that right as I'm doing that too. I think that's funny that he sends this up right as I'm talking about his bank. I think that's great. But anyway, YNB, I love them, and like I said, they are a sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. And then, of course, DT Construction, if you have any needs for roofing, If you got your roof done, it's a perfect time. Like Drew said, everybody was kind of waiting for the summer, and you'll be able to do it. It's going to be cooler, so your stuff will probably be done not necessarily better, but it'd be it's cooler for those guys to get up on the roof. If you have any needs for any of that siding or any work inside or out as far as construction, concrete work, painting in or out, redesigning your house, they can do all of that. Contact Drew at 405-209-4051 or DT Construction 2015 at outlook.com if you want to email him. They're respectful, local, and loyal, which means, guess what? That means he answers his phone if you don't call or if you call. So, wow, that did not work out right for me. That is not what the breaking news was. Let me pop that up. That was the old breaking news. I don't know why I did that. So it should have. There we go. That's breaking news right there. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, in breaking news, Kansas gets a 3-year probation, no postseason ban. I should say no postseason ban. That should be no postseason ban. And they're not no postseason ban. So, which I thought was interesting. That they didn't get a ban because Oklahoma State got a ban, and we're still trying to recover from what happened with us and that. So I think that's interesting that they did not get one. But like I said, my problem with that has always been very simple. Why are you punishing kids for something that had zero to do with them? They weren't even in school then, and you're punishing kids for that. I don't really understand that, and I actually have never understood what that is about. I don't know how you punish kids. You know what I mean? I mean, they didn't have anything to do with that. They were not even there. They were not even there when that happened, and you want to break them down. I don't really get that. I've never understood that. It's not their fault. They were not in school, and yet they don't get to enjoy the postseason because of that. But anyway, no postseason ban, no further suspension for Bill Self, which I'm okay with as well. I mean, I'm still okay with that. Because they've already banned him for the first 5 games, 6 games, or whatever it was. So I'm not unhappy with what Kansas got. But I do believe that they should have got something because of what happened. But for what all they've done, they, police themselves, police themselves. So I'm not unhappy with what happened, and I'm just a firm believer in kids who don't go to school, who were not in school, were in junior high school when all this happened, yet they get penalized for stuff. I'm just not a fan of that, and I don't think that is remotely fair for that. So that's just kind of how I look at it. But anyway, Kansas 3-year probation, no postseason ban, no further suspension on Bill Self, minor scholarship and recruiting about stuff that gets put against them. So anyway, glad that those guys got out because I do want to see Kansas basketball because Big 12's basketball to me is still the best basketball in college. That's just me. I think we have better teams than anybody else. That's just kind of how the way I look at it. Now maybe I'm a little prejudiced, which I probably am. So that being said, here are that's my NBA power rankings. I want my NFL power rankings, not my NFL. Here are my NFL power rankings. I've got the Niners, the Chiefs, the Bills in my power rankings, and this is who I have, and I believe that they're pretty good. Dolphins 4, Eagles 5, Ravens 6, Lions 7, Seahawks 8, Jaguars 9, and the Cowboys I've dropped all the way to 10. I've just not been a fan of theirs and what they've done. I'm not a Dak Prescott fan. I think I've seen enough to know that he is not the man and he's not going to get, even though Jerry Jones was trying to say that Dallas, the San Francisco played good and they did. No, they're a much better team than you guys. And this is the whole thing. Ever since Dallas got rid of Amari Cooper, Dak hasn't been the same. Dak has not been the same. Now, can you imagine CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper on opposite sides? And you should have kept your tight end, but you can't because you're paying your quarterback all this money, so you can't keep everybody. And that's part of what I was saying about San Francisco to Ben yesterday. Brock Purdy is kind of like Dak Prescott. Everybody remembers when Dak first got there, he had the best offensive line. He had Zeke in the backfield. I mean, he had what's my man, Des Bryant. So he was loaded, okay, with tight ends, wide receivers. He had one of the best tight ends ever in the game. So he had weapons everywhere, and he's gonna be great. He's gonna be this. He's gonna be that. And all of a sudden, when those start disappearing, what happened? Dak became a fourth round quarterback. And I said that was my argument with Ben. Yes, he's playing really good right now, but is it really him or is it his system and the weapons he has? Because in 3 years and 2 more years, they're going to have to pay Brock. So that means you can't keep the defensive guys you got. You can't keep the offensive weapons you got. You can't keep the stuff you have because of Brock Purdy. So you're not going to be able to do the things that you did before simply because you can't afford to keep those guys because you have to pay your quarterback. So that's what I was trying to explain to Ben. Yeah, I think he's okay. I think he's drafted at the end of the first round for a reason. I mean, end of the draft for a reason. Now, you talk about Tom Brady. Remember Tom Brady when he first came in? Yeah, he was a game manager and this and that, but he had a defense that was unbelievable, which allowed him to win. Tom Brady, all he had to do was not turn the ball over, and they won titles. That's how they won. Everybody gives him those first two. No, those were not his. Those were Bill Belichick and the defense. Now, those last four, you know, they beat the Falcons because Kyle Shanahan did not run the ball in the second half. They did not eat up any clock. They kept giving them the ball, and then once they got the momentum, it was over. Then, still to this day, no one knows why Pete Carroll, we actually know, but we're not going to really say, we're only speculating, why Pete Carroll tried to give the ball to Russell, tried to throw the pass instead of handing it off to Beast Mode and score. Then we would have got to see the Legion of Boom against Tom Brady for the Super Bowl. That would have been, to me, what I wanted to see to prove whether he is the GOAT, the best player. I still don't think he's the greatest no matter what. But that would have at least solidified him a little bit more than what it is now. Now, of course, I got the Eagles 5, Ravens 6, Lions 7, Seahawks 8, Jaguars 9, Cowboys 10. And in Drew's power rankings, I can't believe he actually put his beloved Cowboys at 10. Still can't believe he did that. You got Niners at 1, Eagles at 2, Chiefs at 3, Dolphins 4, Seahawks 5, Lions at number 6, Jaguars 7, Bills 8. He has the Steelers, and I'm still not quite there with the Steelers yet. And then, of course, he has the Cowboys. And he doesn't have the Ravens, and I think the Ravens are better than what either one of them have put them down because they've lost games they should have won. I mean, if they don't drop passes, they beat the Steelers. Ben's power rankings, he's got the Niners, Chiefs, Eagles, Dolphins, Bills, Lions, Jaguars, Cowboys. He's got the Cowboys at 8. Ravens at 9. He's got his boys. Drew and them, Drew's boys are at 10 and Ben's boys are at 9. I don't know why they're not giving their team more love. Now, the Cowboys, I agree 100%. They should be down at the bottom, no doubt. I think Ben's giving them a little bit more love than what they deserve. That's just me, and I don't know why Ben has them there, but he does, and that's fine. So, but we shall see because based on the schedule this weekend, we've got some crazy games coming up. So we've got some good games, and that's going to really, to me, determine a lot what happens here as far as our rankings because, you got teams going against each other, so we'll see kind of what happens there. You've got the Broncos and the Chiefs tomorrow night. Chiefs going for their, 16th or 17th straight victory over the Broncos. The Broncos' problem is offensively they're better, defensively they're terrible. And last year they were much better defensively than offensively last year. Last year they were terrible offensively and great defensively. This year they're terrible defensively and much better offensively. It's like they flipped the script between their teams. And when you look at the Broncos, I mean, they're still in games. They've got blown out of really, really one game. But, they've got to do better. But I still think the Chiefs, minus 10, I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I don't know if they're going to win by 10 because Mahomes usually, they just win games. That's all he does is win. Not necessarily not that great against the spread, but all he does is win games. That's all he does. You got Ravens and the Titans. The Titans +4, 8:30 a.m. game in London. Like I said, the NFL is going to put a team in London. I just believe that they are, and I believe it will be the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's just me and what I'm thinking or looking at or predicting. So the Commanders versus the Falcons. You've got the Falcons are -2.5. I've been on the Falcons all year, and I think I really, really like them. I don't think they're one of the top 10 teams. Not quite ready to go there, but I do think they will make the playoffs, and they've got to win this game. And the Commanders have been much more competitive this year. -2.5, over under 42. Vikings and the Bears. I don't like. I don't think I'm going to watch this game, but Bears +2, over under 44.5. Seahawks and Bengals. Joe Burrow's coming back. They look like he's better. They looked really, really good, but they're going to have a test, and we're really going to see because he's going against a defense that can get after him, one. But on the other side of that, they can run the football, which if they are able to run the football on the Bengals defense and Lou Amarillo's defense, then I think that the Bengals may have their hands full, but I do believe they still are better than the Seahawks, and I'm ready. I almost got them climbing back into my top 10, but we shall see. If they beat the Seahawks, then I'll definitely say they're back and they're ready to come in. Niners and the Browns. The Browns +6. Deshaun Watson not playing again. If they're playing, if he was playing, I think that you had a chance. But if he's not playing, they have no chance against that Niners defense, zero. And no Nick Chubb. It's just, I think the Niners are just going to smash them. So +6.5, over under 37. The Panthers and the Dolphins. You have the Dolphins -13 of the Panthers. I think the Dolphins are just going to smash them. I don't think they can stop them at all. Colts and Jaguars -4, over under 45.5. Then, of course, you've got Saints and Texans +1.5, over under 42. Patriots at the Raiders. That's primetime game. And I look at the primetime games. You've got the Patriots and the Raiders. Who cares? You got the Cardinals versus the Rams -6. That may be a little bit entertaining because then you've got the Cardinals have been playing pretty good. You've got the Eagles and the Jets. Nobody really cares about that right now, even though the Jets are playing better. They almost beat the Chiefs. They beat the Broncos, so they are playing better. But they're +5 at home. I think the Eagles are going to handle it a bit. So you got to kind of pick your poison. Lions and the Bucks. You got Detroit versus Baker. Who let me give him some props. Baker has grown up, and he's more of an adult now. But like I've said all along, had Bob Stoops been his coach instead of Lincoln Riley, there would have been no flag pointing, no flag trying to plant the ground. Second thing is he would not have hit somebody in the head. He would not have been grabbing his crotch, and he would not have been giving the finger and all that nonsense. None of that crap would have happened. I can promise you under Bob Stoops, none of that crap would have happened. Bob is not going to put up with that whatsoever. So, but once again, it was Lincoln Riley, not Stoops. So I don't know. So if I have the choice, I will probably. I think in Oklahoma City, because of Baker, we're not going to have any choice but to watch the Lions and the Bucks. I think that's going to be, if it's on, that's what we're going to watch on CBS. Then the Fox games, the Cardinals and the Rams, or Patriots and the Raiders. And I think Fox has the afternoon game this year, so I would imagine they'd have. Imagine they're going to have the Cardinals and the Rams, which I don't really want to see either one of those games. And then, of course, Sunday night, you've got the Giants versus the Bills in the nightcap. And, the Bills are going to bounce back and smash them. I still think they're one of the best teams. And the Bills went over to London. They didn't go over there early enough. And like I said the other day, if you're going to play overseas, you need to leave Tuesday. You need to be there. Give yourself plenty of time to get used to the altitude, get used to the travel, get your body accustomed to the time change. I just why I think you should travel. If not that Monday, for sure, no later than that Tuesday. Give yourself 4 or 5 days to get antiquated to the atmosphere, everything, and the travel will give your body a chance to absorb everything. That's just me. Cowboys and Chargers on Monday night. Definitely want to watch that. The former OC versus his former team in I always say San Diego. God, I can't help keep calling them that. They are the Los Angeles Chargers, not the San Diego Chargers. Tells you I'm old school. +2, over under 4.5. Of course, that game is at 7:15 on ABC and NBC. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that works and how that's going to happen. So when this is like I said, this is what I love about this month because you've got everything. You've got everything. You've got the NBA, you've got NFL, you've got Major League Baseball, you've got WNBA finishing up, you have college football, you got both footballs going. And let's face it, this still, no matter what, is a football fanatical country. And I'm talking about American football, not FUTBOL, but FOOTBAL. That's the football I'm talking about. This country is obsessed with it. So, you've got all that going on, which is what I love thus far. But, we do have different sports that are happening going on now. And we've got our boy High Stick Harry Ben Dimmer, which I thought he was going to come on today, but he's not here. He hadn't clicked in. But anyway, in hockey scores last night, we got to see opening night of hockey, which is interesting that hockey opens 2 weeks before the NBA season. Now, we do have preseason, but this is the NHL season. And they were all on ESPN last night. So that was good. I got to watch some of it. I watched the Golden Knights, of course, hang their banner. Got to see them play. They took care of business over the Kraken 4-1 at home. And then, of course, the Blackhawks and the Penguins. Now, what was interesting last night, and I was hoping Ben was going to come on because the Penguins last night, which are the Pittsburgh Penguins, doing the warm-ups, they were screaming, "Fire Matt Canada," which is the offensive coordinator of the Steelers. They were they were chanting that in the stadium while the game was going on. Fire Matt Canada. Now, the sad part about that is his kids got to go to school there. And if you think the kids aren't listening to what their parents are saying and coming back and saying, "Hey, we're parents saying your dad needs to be fired. Your dad is terrible." Da, da, da. That's going on, and I feel sorry for those kids when it's in that situation. But Mike Tomlin, and the Steelers being the loyal people that they are, they hung on to Ben Roethlisberger too long. Go high. Everybody else went and got quarterbacks. They didn't. And now look at them. And the same thing is happening with the NFL, the National Football League, the NFC. Same thing is happening with the NFC right now, is that all of a sudden all these quarterbacks in the NFC teams are terrible teams, so they're going to get quarterbacks. The AFC, this happened to the AFC a couple years ago, and the Chiefs got Mahomes, the Chargers got Herbert, the Bengals got Joe Burrow, the Jaguars got oh my God, my mind just went blank. Oh my God, Trevor Lawrence. So, all these guys came up, and then all of a sudden, you're stuck out here at Pittsburgh because Ben Roethlisberger was getting old, and he was pissed off because you're thinking about drafting a quarterback. Well, Ben, you're getting old. You're getting old, and we're going to have to come off you. So why would you not support us getting a quarterback? That's the same thing that happened to Aaron Rodgers with Brett Favre. But, dude, look, this guy's going to sit under you for a couple, 2 or 3 years, and then when you retire, we've got somebody that you've had a chance to mentor and to watch you, and you're upset about that. But once again, Pittsburgh being the loyal franchise that they are, loyal owners and coaches, they are about bringing in their own and keeping their own in-house. That's what they like. And they have been successful, but you haven't been to Super Bowl in 13 years or 12 years, however long it's been. It's time for you to get back. Predator, but I thought that was interesting at a hockey game. They were chanting, 13,000 people are chanting "Fire Matt Canada." I thought that was interesting. So the fans want the team to win, and let's face it, Pittsburgh is a Steelers town. It's not a Pittsburgh Pirates town, and it's not a Pittsburgh Penguins town. It is a Pittsburgh Steelers town. The Predators and the Lightning took care of business 5-3 over the Predators last night. Then, of course, and MLB, y'all already know what time it is in the Major League Baseball. It is that time of year right now. And I'm pumped up about baseball because, I mean, my Dodgers down 2-0. At least the Falcons, the Braves tied up the series at 1-1. And this is what's crazy. The best team, the two best teams, okay, Baltimore, I mean, the Orioles are gone. Now, I think Houston was better than Baltimore. That was just me, the Orioles. And, of course, the Rangers took care of business 3-0 with them. The Astros have to get a victory tonight against the Stros, against the Twins, or is that tomorrow night? They've got to get a win. They're up 2-1. They got smashed the other night in Houston on Sunday. Came back and took care of business against them. So now they're up 2-1. So they've got to come back. So I guess it's tomorrow because they played last night. So it's 2-1 Houston right now in their series, and I think they will handle the Twins to go ahead and tackle the Rangers. Then, of course, the Dodgers, their pitching staff is just unbelievable during the season. And Clayton Kershaw, it's just unbelievable. He's got a 2-point ERA earned run average in the regular season and over 4 in the playoffs. It's just it's just mind-boggling how he can be so good and then how he can be so bad. It's like two different guys, but they don't get to the playoffs without him. That's kind of how that works. The Braves came back to tie the series 1-1 against the Phillies. The Phillies give the Braves a headache, and it's just crazy. These two teams go at each other the way they do, but we shall see what's going to happen with that. I do believe the Braves have more talent, but the Phillies put them out last year, so we'll see what happens. But I do believe it's going to be the Braves and the Stros. That's kind of how I feel in the finals. That's kind of what I want to see in the World Series. That's the two teams that I want to see in the end. Even though I got to hear my guy Drew Henthorne's mouth about it, still, I'm okay with that if those two teams get in because I do want to watch really good baseball. Then, of course, the WNBA Finals tonight. The Aces are up 1-0 on the Liberty, and the Liberty, remember, beat them 3-2 during the regular season. So the Liberty, one of the founding teams of WNBA, they need to get a championship. But the Aces are just tough. But the Liberty are going to have to learn to do one thing: play some defense, and then their stars are going to have to step up and play. If they don't, they have zero chance of doing anything. So those are two things that are going to happen to change up and get these two guys, get this game ready. But I will probably try to, well, I can't watch the game tonight because I am going to, I don't know why that popped up. I wasn't even trying to do that. Because tonight, for my birthday, I'm going to got 2 tickets to go see To Kill a Mockingbird to play tonight, and I had tickets to go watch them when they were in New York, and then COVID hit and everything shut down. So I'm excited, but not as excited as I was going to be able to watch them in New York. That's when I really wanted to watch that and watch that one of them players was in New York. That's where I really wanted to see it. But I'm not going to cry. I've got a chance to see it tonight, so I'm going to take full advantage and watch To Kill a Mockingbird tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. And then having another birthday dinner. Had flips last night. Lobster ravioli was fantastic. The night before, went to Red Prime and had halibut, which was fantastic on a vegetable medley of corn and green beans and everything. It was really, really good. Had that. And so tonight, I don't know where we're going tonight yet. It's a surprise. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm excited about tonight to be able to go have dinner and then boom, go to that. So anyway, I'm excited. What a great birthday week. And then tomorrow night, we're going to cap everything off with one of my favorite restaurants, The Ranch. I believe that's where we're going. We're either going to The Ranch or Michael's Grill tomorrow night. Two of my favorite places to eat. And then, of course, I'm going to have a Pittsburgh-style strip with, if I'm at Michael's, I'm going to be a Caesar salad. If I'm at The Ranch, I'm going to have a chopped salad. And then I'm going to have, if we're at The Ranch, I'm going to have, the chef always makes me lobster bisque, which is my favorite thing. So he always makes me lobster bisque from scratch. And it is, ooh, delicious, delicious, delicious. So anyway, going to maintain and keep my birthday week flying, going good. I'm going to have 4 great nights of food, so I'm excited about that. So I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Enjoy yourself. Hope you're having a fantastic week. And remember, what a great month it is, mainly because it's my birthday and because we have all of our sports all at one time.